Hi, traders. 11 a.m. EST, time for Mike and me. Just a quick update for me, Mike. Last Wednesday, when the Fed talked and the dollar sold off, I got long a little early at 103.70 up in here, so I took some heat, but I put in the room to take profits. You know, that's 170 pips still here. I'm still looking for higher highs.
Okay.
Euro's cracking, pretty important support at the 108 level. It's had a crummy week. Pound's holding up better, but I still think we're going to trade under 124. Aussie had a pretty negative week. I'm still looking for 63.50 or so. And a new position with all the noise coming out of Japan is yesterday after we had the sell-off, I put out a recommendation to sell a RIP to 51.50. We got to 51.54, so, up 20 pips. I'm thinking that, tomorrow might be a great time for the BOJ and the Fed to pull something, some type of intervention, because they know they're very good technicians. The Japanese invented candlesticks, right?
Yes.
So they've been doing this for a long time. So they know, going back to 22, this 152 level is important. If they let it get away from them, I know guys talk about 164 or so. So they were successful here with intervention. Let's see what they do here. They have made a move, although small, on rates, and I'm just taking a trade. It's just another trade. If it doesn't work, I get stopped out. But I think we're having almost a little reversal week to the downside. Taking a top picking shot here, risking 70 pips. Gold keeps going. And if you look at something like a daily, you see we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. So we don't have 3 quite yet. Shorter term time frames, I'm pretty sure that will probably diverge on the 4-hour. If we, rally a little bit here and turn, silver is still bringing up the rear. You can see how far off the highs it is. I still think if you're patient, you'll see it down here at 23.20. And even though the gold is making a new high, I still think if you're patient, you'll see 2100 to 2070 in the weeks ahead. Yields are all over the place. I don't know what, they keep flipping back and forth above, what is it? The 420 level. Right now, back below it again. It's not a bullish chart, is it, Mike?
No, it's not. I
Yeah. So that means yields are coming down. That should be risk on. And along the world, it's interesting. The dollar's still rallying with yields coming down. Um, that's a little bit different. Nat gas trying to hold, Mike. Higher lows.
I think may I?
Yeah.
Well, it's the end. Today's the end of the quarter.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they, some people might be forerunning the margin selling, getting it off the books. I wouldn't be surprised if it took a hit maybe today, the end of the day, or on Monday, just margin selling, getting out of there. But I have my eye on it. It's usually not that give me of a trade where, a snapback trade usually comes after everybody flushes it out. Maybe it happens at the end of the quarter. Probably happens. Sometimes probably happens. Not Monday's a little bit too obvious, the Monday open, but I'm looking for a snapback. I'm not saying a turnaround and I can go take a vacation. But a Tuesday, I would look for the later Monday or Tuesday, but it's not for me here. Anybody at the end of the quarter that would get any pop in natural gas would be more likely to sell anything and get it out of there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I still don't like it because at the low we confirmed, we were under 30. We were like 20. Um, this time though, if we made a new low, yeah, I don't think it would confirm. Not that
No,
far away.
you know what? Something, and I want to hear the rest. I'm looking at the yen is at the lowest against the dollar since 1990.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the most heavily traded financial instruments, arguably in the world, and you have something that's not happening in 30 years.
Right.
So here we go again, where something of great, and we're not talking about, maybe cocoa. Everybody knows the move that cocoa made, the cocoa move.
Yeah.
We're not talking about orange juice here. We're talking about, major financial instrument, which you got to keep your eye on, and
Yeah.
I would too. And that's why you
It's
point.
going to affect everything.
Yes, it will.
Bond market, you're right. Cocoa isn't going to have the financial impact that what's happening in a carry trade like the yen would have. So anyway, we'll see. Maybe uh,
My point
me and
was,
my followers might catch an important high for at least a correction, at least a drop. So we'll see, or we could get stopped out. And I accept that every time I pull the trigger. The difference is I know where I'm wrong when I get in. I have a reason for why I'm getting in. Cleaned out the stops from 2022, and the chatter. We had that big down bar yesterday, so I go, maybe something is happening, and I just sold the next bounce. Like you say, not rocket science.
well, Coach,
So, huh?
like I kind of say all the time, if I kind of let everybody know, like, if this was not, don't really look at the entity too much. If that was a, stock, if it was maybe, somebody's trying to pick the bottom on Tesla, it wouldn't be that bad. It's never, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So we'll
Lately,
see. Yeah, and kind of strange for a big inflation number to be coming out with the markets closed tomorrow. So, you're probably, that could be binary coming in Monday. You could see gap higher openings or lower openings based upon a number that's out of the range of expectation. So, that's something to consider too. I mean, whatever you do by today's close, you can't do anything about it till Monday.
well, that's
So
fine, but
just keep that in mind.
like, no, and that will, I also want to keep this in mind. It's a fact. Uh, Stat. I'll come up with the numbers later. I put it on the morning update. 3-day weekends are bullish. Now, as
Yeah,
we
I
look at
heard
your,
that. Yeah, people should pay attention to your pre-market reports that you're doing now, Mike.
I
I think they
appreciate.
could catch it on TikTok, and where else is it being published?
We'll post it on there. The team beforehand, the team behind us, they'll post it. But coach, the thing is, and I'm
So
going to
people
ask
could
you.
watch it because it's not being posted on TGH. I just want people to be able to find it. So when they could look for it and they could, become a follower and listen to what you're saying before the market's open. Okay,
Okay,
so
thank you,
that's
coach,
all.
for that side note. And I appreciate that. I wanted to. I'm so interested in making a point. But if the 3-day weekend is bullish, let's look at your main stock, your main universe right there.
All right, let's
This is
do it. Where are
positive.
you? I'm going to give you the screen. By the
Well, looking at
way,
yours, I'm just going to tell you simply what I think. I'll
okay.
go to mine. But the
Oh,
VIX is positive, the Nasdaq is negative, the IWM is breaking out. Uh,
with divergence. That's
yeah,
why I
the
was showing it.
TLT, the TLT looks okay. We've been playing with that one in that little in that range up there. Now that looks like gold. So what's going to be bullish? What opens? Did they pull up Apple? I mean, Apple's down a percent and a half. Nvidia, AMD's up a percent. That's
Yeah, I thought I was smart covering some of my Apple shorts yesterday, but today I don't know.
Coach, I would have too. I'm not gonna lie. I would have, Coach. I would
Yeah.
have. I'm
So,
not gonna
well,
lie.
because I thought if we had a blow off, if the blow off continued, although S&Ps look better than Nasdaq to me, but I'd love to see it rally into the eclipse. I'd like to see a blow off into April 8th.
That's fine.
Um, and, I'll be looking for turning points off of that.
Hmm.
If it's going down, I'll look for a buy. So you can't predict which way a market's going to go into an event, but on the event, you know which way it's going. I can't anticipate the next 7 days. Are we going to start pulling back? Are we going to continue higher? But I know what to do in either case.
I
And
appreciate that. That's
I
where the
should look
plan
for
comes in.
inflection
All right.
points around there. And you know what? If you did, people think it's kooky. You
What's
should
cooking?
watch it. Eclipses and tides. And my guest yesterday, Chris Carolyn, you need to watch that video. And after you're through, tell me if it's kooky because he goes back in history to show the inflection points on these days. So what's
I
that,
don't
your
listen.
coffee cup?
I don't. Well, it's our new mug.
Uh,
My mug.
it looks so
I don't
big
think
when you
anybody's plan is kooky. What's that?
it looks so big when you put it out there. It looks like you could put a couple, it's bigger than your head.
Well, it should be. I'm freaking 5'6". It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm
It
overshadowed. It's not like I'm
looks
Shaq.
like you could have a gallon of coffee in there.
That's
All right.
actually true.
Anyway, yeah,
With that being said, no. Listen, I don't put down anybody's plan, Coach. No way. I don't care.
yeah.
They could
People
have
do.
Tony Pistachio dance on the Wall Street Journal if they want to pick stocks. I could care
Yeah,
less. I don't put
yeah.
anybody down.
That would be a good video.
I tried that.
Okay. All right. So,
That's where
that
everybody
kind of
agrees.
covers where my head's at. Still think the dollar's going above 106. So there's still a runway left there. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't be, I didn't let go of my core position in miners, but I'm hoping I'm right and that we get a sell-off. I'm not looking for new lows, but some of the numbers I gave on like Newmont, it's up 61.
I sold some this morning. Fact. I
Yeah,
took some. Hold
that
on. I took
looks
some
like
off
a
the.
looks like a breakaway gap. But when you look at a 4 hour, it still looks good. GDX diverging. Some of the weak ones, I don't know. They don't look so great. Here's silver. Still looks pretty good. Will diverge up there. These little these little ones had nice runs. Here's my number for buying Endeavor down here, about 180, and for Fortuna, maybe about 320 to $3. So I still think that'll happen. If it keeps going, but I'm not adding up here, that's for sure. I'm waiting for a pullback, and I might even take a shot at the gold short next week on a 3 drive. So we'll see what happens. The whole world could change on that number tomorrow. We'll see.
Whoa. Sorry.
Okay, so where are the Easter eggs today, buddy?
I'm sorry.
Where are the Easter eggs in the market today?
Easter eggs.
Yeah,
We covered. My wife's probably she
to
uses.
coloring.
She still uses the pads. You know, with the little ring.
Yeah, yeah, to color them.
Yeah, why not?
Do you go on an Easter egg hunt? I bet you're out there running around looking for.
No, I sublet. People go after me, and then they bring back, and we split it.
You have tenant farmers. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's
So
okay. Let's look at what's going on here. At the end of the quarter, by the way, we put it. It's redundant. You had a stock like Restoration Warehouse,
wow, it's still
binary
good.
move, a big retailer, Warren Buffett. I mean, the stock
Yeah.
it gapped up 530, went to 350. I'm going to go slower on the charts. You know, there's Restoration Warehouse. Here's a chart on something like a General Motors,
Still going.
still going. Here's our chart on Citicorp. I sold a chunk
Still
of it at
going.
60. I thought I was a hero. Still going. What else are we still going?
Citicorp, let's pause here.
Oh, I hope not.
Citicorp,
Bring
they
this up.
started buying calls in September. They made one more marginal new low, and those calls paid big, big. Okay. So, I mean, that was a great option suite. It was
Coach.
just, a jiggle early. But if you buy enough time and you don't try and be a hero on your strike prices, you make money
No,
following these
I'll
sweeps.
I appreciate that, Coach. You know, I should digress and also do a video on how to approach this, like both short and long term. But I would say, arguably, and let me go over. I'm going to put my screen here if everybody wants to look at the stocks. Coin, the IPO is right here. I'm long a bunch of Coles on a breakaway. I wouldn't be short this with anybody's money. Here's Coles. Small stocks are starting to pop. Here's Nougat. I'm in Nougat and JUNG. I was all over the tape yesterday. I was buying it live as we talked on air. JUNG, which is a triple ETF on. How could you not like this? List the volume. Most it's
Yeah.
had in 2 weeks. Here it is. So even if it pulls back on JUNG, all right, what's the biggest pullback? 31,
27.
No, whatever. Okay. I'm just talking about a couple of
Maybe.
days. But what's the risk to
I
reward
went
here?
short it. I wouldn't short it. Chart
There you go.
still looks good.
So the risk to reward is it pulls back a half and you probably have another breakaway because it's above everything gold, or it
Yeah.
goes up to another $2 like it did.
Yeah.
GDX.
Good. Good.
GDS, what's the risk to reward? Okay, you know you're going to want to buy this cheaper anyway, correct?
Yeah.
But why not buy it here at the new high breakaway with the volume? I'm
Good
not
point.
saying it's a max share position. You had to take a little chance end of the quarter, blah, blah, blah. It's a little overblown to a degree, very short term, but depends on what type of trade area you are. But this risk is worth the reward. Why not try? It's an 8 out
You
of 10
know,
that it's going to work. It's a 2 out of 10. It's going to pull back 20 cents. If it works, it's going to be $1. I don't care what the
it's a great
entity is.
point. Because people were decimated in this stuff for so long, and then they miss the first rally, and like me, they're waiting for a pullback. They can't chase up here. And sometimes these markets never give you a pullback.
Coach, a couple of things I think about you all the time, especially the last week. First of all, the market, and I don't want to throw out some cliche. I'm the most positive person out there. I never met a negative successful trader. Is that you're never going to get the perfect fastball, coach. You're never
Yeah.
going to get the
It's the
perfect entry. That's
exception.
why you got to do something.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
told me that when I'm trying to
Yeah.
get the perfect price on the
There's no
gold
such
dip.
thing as a perfect trade.
So get in it. I'm pissed that I'm not, am I pissed that I didn't have max shares on some max shares? That I wasn't in this early and didn't double down, for lack of a better term. I hate to use these terms, but
Yeah.
add to it, I
Well,
couldn't be in
maybe
the
I
max.
influenced you from
What are you
doing
going
that.
to do? You got to be in it though.
Yeah.
Over time, it works. What else is going up?
Yeah. We're going above that 36 level, those March highs eventually
All right.
by a ton.
Airlines taking calls. Airlines taking calls all week. Please go to the videos. All week.
And people were bitching about which airline earlier in the week, not United. What maybe it was United.
ALK this is ALK. Forget what it does. You
Okay.
have to. And I'm talking, when I say forget about it does, I'm not saying oblivious. You have to be obvious about what is redundant to rotation. But net, if you have a system, option flow, price, volume, range, and are aware with ALK, the worst airline out there. Look at it yesterday. What do you have to argue there? A breakaway, just like the GDX. So you
Yeah.
missed it a little bit. So if it pulls back, every algo is going to jump on this anyway. The airlines are taking calls across the board long term for weeks. So you're going to be you're going to be okay there. So if it didn't work, fine. Maybe you lose a half. There's price action, volume, breakaway RSI. Even go to the weekly, I think it looked great.
And
All right,
you're saying CGC is the best of breed in the cannabis stocks.
CGC, I got tired of saying it all week.
Yeah,
I did
that's
a
really
video through
what
the
a move.
breakaway at 8.
Yeah, double in what? 2 weeks?
Well, it's probably, listen, it's not even overbought yet. You would
No, it's
say
not
the
even.
RSI,
It's a quadruple in 3 weeks.
well, it's probably going to 10. There's a strike price. Maybe, I'm not saying the half a point is worth it. And I don't even know if this is, we also didn't say another cliche here. And many people have edified this, including David Hunter and Mr. Schwager himself. The biggest moves are at the end. I don't
Yeah.
know if this is going to 10 or it's worth paying up 948 to 10 here, but that's something that we've been pointing about
Yeah,
earlier. It
nice.
didn't matter what it did. It exploded with volume. They could make widgets. And the other thing is
And
you have to,
it was one of the best performers.
but you have to study it. See the move here when it does the volume? Some stocks have the propensity to do that. Some don't. So when you see this stock go from 5 to 19, some stocks come in with big volume and only move 10%. This stock has it in it. So
Yeah.
that you might be in the right church, wrong pew, but you got to get it eventually if you stick in there. Goldman Sachs. How many times did we say this was a springboard?
Oh yeah,
Right through
when it was moving
385 to
sideways.
396.
You did. I said I don't know, but
Well,
you
I
did.
didn't know either. But coach, the risk, okay, when this is doing this, when this is doing this,
Yeah, right. The group.
and when this is doing this, what's it more likely to do? Break below 380 or just like
Yeah.
GDX or ALK or CGC taking calls in the right sector? What's it more likely to do? What it
Yeah.
did. Blow through the 400, rest a little bit like here, shake
Yeah.
people out above the 400, probably going to 425. That's with a weekly. What's it going to stop it from going? I mean, so you might be a
That's
little
going to
bit
make
late, but
new
you got to
all-time
be
highs.
aware of them. That's all. Be aware.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay.
I don't
one
know.
word.
I'm not even going to bring up option flow. It's a holiday tomorrow, 3-day weekend. Like I said in the morning video, we said that before. Anything right now is very short term. The real option flow, we're going to post it Sunday night into Monday, is probably going to come Monday and Tuesday, like Coach and I said, after the 3-day weekend. So anything right now is pretty speculative. I'm sure there's going to be slight unwinding, including these zero DT options that go for the day. So
Yeah.
don't be a sucker. Get your prices. The majority of the money's been made during the week, probably during the day, and probably during the end of the quarter, as Coach will say. So you probably can't make it right now. You're not going to make it quarter, but you have a good chance of probably damaging it more if you're not doing well. What's so
Yes.
funny?
No, you're right. It's true.
It's not cliche, Coach. I'm not.
I know. I know
I'm
it's
not
true.
memorizing Hamlet. These things make sense.
Yeah.
That's why I say it.
Yeah. I know. When I smile when you say something, it doesn't mean it's criticism. It
Well,
means
listen,
like, yeah, you know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, you're
So,
making sense. Okay.
anyway, good advice. We have another quarter. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to more broadcasts with you, and looking forward to having a nice Easter weekend
We will,
with
Coach.
with some hoops and then some food
Okay, how
on
many
Easter.
how many days and when I was a pup in New York City as a broker would it just you end up early and just go to Madison because I worked in the city, throwing
Yeah,
distance, and
yeah,
go didn't just somehow make your way to the final four, or actually the final 16 or the Sweet
yeah,
16 at the
yeah. That's
Garden or
this
even
weekend.
the Big
Yeah.
East tournament and just forget it, have a dinner. Oh, what times?
About 10 years ago on a Good Friday, I was diagnosed with cancer. So I'm grateful for the bonus years that
You
I've
know what?
had since then.
We've had that conversation. That's how long we've been on here. We've had this conversation before.
Every year I talk about it probably.
Yeah.
It was quite a moment that's crystallized in my mind. And I thought it was strange it happened on a Good Friday. So that's it, man. Decent week. Trade's working, ideas and narratives working. And let's see what next week brings after the big number without a crowd. And let's see if BOJ puts their money where their mouth is, because they're not going to just be able to jawbone it. In fact, they need the Fed to help. Okay. And I'm sure they're talking to the Fed. So we'll see what happens. There's some massive intervention when people are away, might give them the edge to push them away from the 152 cliff.
And you have to
Because,
think like, even if it doesn't work, you
yeah,
have to have that. You have to think like that.
yeah,
It's like looking, if you only look left, you're in trouble. You got to think that way, no matter if it comes into play. It's
yeah.
advanced thinking. And for
It's
those that want to get
it's
brave
a
for the
big
rest of the
deal.
day, here's the most active list. I'll leave it there. If not, I'll be in the room all day. Coach, thank you again. I'll be posting tomorrow too. I mean, you know what I mean? After doing things. But like I said,
Yeah.
thank you for being in the room. Comments, questions, and complaints, all welcome. Have a plan. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for leading, Coach.
Okay, buddy. And if
Cheers.
I don't talk to you, you and your family, hope you guys have a very happy Easter.
We appreciate that as well. You too,
All
Coach.
right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Cheers,
buddy.
everyone. Thanks
You
again.
too, Alexis.